Today I went lure fishing on the canal, and what was supposed to be a short session ended up dragging out over 2 days because I was unhappy with the results of the first day. Seeing as I was fishing lures, I was targeting the perch, as I haven't caught an awful lot of perch this year, and I'm on a mission to break my personal best perch. When I went fishing on the first day, it was quite late in the day. It was about 11 AM in the morning, but it was already almost 30 degrees. It was a boiling hot day. But without further ado, let's get down there. It's a very sunny morning down the canal today, so I've come down here bright and early with the lure, and I'm going to be targeting no other than the perch. From the half a stretch of the canal I've walked this morning, I've seen loads of fish on the surface, even a school of gudgeon on the surface, which is quite rare to see. I never see gudgeon on the surface of the canal, but I have today. In fact, as I'm looking at the water right now, I can see schools all over the surface of roach, and there's even some perch over there. I'm going to cast my lure out real quick. Just reel in while I'm speaking and try and catch them. Seeing all these fish active makes me think pole fishing might be good again, so I'm going to have to hop back on the pole fishing pretty soon. Just give me a second, I'm somehow snagged after one cast. Incredible, I cast out and I reel it in. The jig head's still on, but the hook end snapped off and the lure's gone. Thankfully I've got some spares in my pocket, so I'll whack one of them out. Well, I don't know how that's happened though. That is now sorted. I've put a fresh lure onto Fox Rage Curly Tail, and these seem to do really good on this canal anyway. Never used this one before either, and I'm really liking the coloration to it. It's a dull green colour with some red sparkles in it. It just looked quite nice. I reckon I'm going to spend about 2.5 hours down the canal today, so not too long, but just enough time to catch me a couple of perch. As per usual, I'm going to go down to the narrow section because I love it there, and I haven't been properly lure fishing in quite some time. I haven't used my baitcaster reel in a while now. I've just been using the spinners and the drop shots and stuff, so it'll be interesting to get back on this thing. Hopefully I don't get no bird's nest today. I re-spooled the line on it last night because the line I had in it prior to this was on for a year, and it was all crusty and dusty and not so nice, so I've put some fresh line on and it's looking alright. But I've got a bit of walking to do to get down to the location I want to get to, so I'm going to put the lure in the water and just drag it along with me, see if I can get anything on the way. I doubt I will, but when I'm there, I'm certain I'll get a perch. I'll see you when I'm down there. Just before I get walking on down the canal, I did just cast the rod in, just to pop it in the margin like this, and it got bird's nested right away. But then I remembered I've got to set the weight of the lure on the end, because that's what you got to do on these bait casters, so I just have to twist that. There we go, that's perfect. It started dropping, so I can cast out properly now. Nice. I've just come down these steps on the way to the little bit of canal I'm going to be fishing, because down here there's this creek that I've always wanted to fish, but I just got here and it's completely overgrown with duckweed and stuff now, so I won't be able to fish that. But in the winter, that place is like, it's about 2 foot deep and it looks alright. I don't know, but we're definitely not going to be able to fish it today, so let's get back on trail. Okay, so I'm off my little detour and I'm now back on track, and I'm pretty much at the narrow bit. I'm just walking down this little towpath here. The only bad thing about this place now is it's completely overgrown. There's still little places, just like there actually, I can fish here. It's right where the narrow bit opens up as well, as you can see. Right where I'm standing right now, I've caught one of the biggest perch I've ever caught, so you never know, I could remake the moment. Let's have the first cast out then. The canal's looking the exact same down here than it is over there. All the fish are on the surface, so I don't know if I'll get some bites on the lure, but I'm certain I will at some point. All I've got to do is reel really slowly this time, because the lure that I have on moves ever so fast, so I've got to just move it really slow. It still moves in the water, and it's great. I don't exactly like fishing at this little part though. It's not the greatest. It gets good as you go just down this bit here, so I'm gonna have to try and cast just past all these nettles. There's a blank spot where I can stand over there as well, so I'll get down there, but I'll just try and there we are, I tossed it right in the nettle. Okay, so now I'm down to my last lure. I got snagged in the nettle bush and it's gone, so now I'm on to my very last one of the pack. Hopefully I don't lose this one's now on. It's a bit duller than all the others that I had, so that's why I didn't put it on beforehand, but it's on now and I'll probably catch something on it. I've moved well away from the snaggy part now, because I'm not trying to lose this lure. It's my last one. If I lose this, I'm screwed, so I'm just going to get casting right ahead of me. Obviously, as you can see, it's gone really narrow. There's not really any snags ahead of me. It's pretty clear, so I can step on it all. Here we go then. I'm stepping on this now. Hopefully I don't sink into the canal. No, I didn't. I'm fine. There is a boat on its way down right now, so that's not very good news, but if I just get casted out real quick, I'll be alright. Give it a little toss right ahead of me in the middle. That's alright. It ain't the best. I don't like this bait cast. I just waited for the barge to go past because I would have got snagged otherwise. Now it's gone past. It's been about a minute and a half, so all the snags in the water will have died off. I'll just cast it into the margin and reel it in ever so slowly, because I want to catch a perch, obviously. It's going to take a bit of time getting used to this bait caster again. As I said at the start of the video, I haven't fished with it for like over 6 months. It's ridiculous, but I keep getting birds nesting and I keep getting reminded of the reason why I've stopped using the bait caster. Oh well, I'll just have to get used to it for now. I've just had a bit of a thought. Today there's tons of minnows on the surface and swimming around the canal. They're everywhere, minnows everywhere, so the perch have got to be out feeding somewhere, because because minnows are about the same size as my lure. I know perch eat minnows, so there's a school of them right there as I speak. What I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to start casting around about where the minnows are, because that's, I'd assume, where the perch would be. So far, believe it or not, I have been here down an hour casting. It's took me an hour to get from that bit up there just to this bit here, because I've been casting out so much, and I've just had no bites coming, which is quite ridiculous considering the lure I've got. I'm looking at it right now. I don't know if you can see it in the water. There's some minnows following it, but there's just no perch, and it swims beautifully as well. But I'm just getting it out into the middle, letting it sink to the bottom, and then just reeling it in slowly and fast. I'm doing it in just different ranges every single cast, so it's usually down this bit where I catch though. There's a little open bit, and I always tend to get some bites there. But I might as well make the most out of this bit while I'm here. Because you never know, I could end up getting one. I've decided it's time to just make my way down to this bit where it's wider though. Because it's so hot there. It's currently 30 degrees out and it's just boiling, so I'm going to get into the shade. Just look at that there. There's tons of roach on the surface. A school of about 50 of them. I think I chose the wrong type of fishing today. I should have brought my pole and maggots down here. I'd have whipped out about 100 by now. Oh well, there's still time to get some on the lures. Honestly, I think if I had a spinning reel, I'd have had one by now. It's this Baitcaster. Screwed me over a bit today. I've spent half of my session undoing bird's nests because the line I've got on. Look at that right now. I just keep having to do this every cast pretty much. Gets on my nerves. This session's just becoming beyond a joke at this point. Every second I'm getting snagged and it's getting really annoying. I'm really tempted at the moment to walk back home and get my spinning reel combo. But then again, I've only got about 40 minutes remaining and I'd rather spend as much time down here as I can with the lure in the water. So I think I'm just going to stick at it with the Baitcaster and hope for the best. There's a big roach on the surface right there. He's massive. I'd say it's about a 1 pound roach. If only you could catch roach on lures, I'm telling you now, I would have bagged up today. I'm fed up of this area now. It's really getting on my nerves, all these snags are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk down a bit further. I never usually come down this way, but I remember about 4 months ago I tried underneath the bridge which is there, and I had loads of bites under that bridge. It was unbelievable, and I actually landed one under there. I can't remember correctly, but I think I did. So I'm going to lure fish down this bit now and see if I can get anything in the last 40 minutes. This bit here looks nice. It's quite shady but still really hot at the same time, and I've got a bird's nest. I'm now under the bridge. I don't know if it's going to be any good, so I'll just cast it right there. I'll let it sink down to the very bottom because I reckon that's where the perch will be under the bridge because it's quite cool under here. And then I'll just start to slowly reel in, and that came up pretty fast actually, so I'll have about 20 casts under here maybe. Right, nothing's come from them casts. So I've got a little idea on my head. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go home now for a couple of hours and I'm going to come down here at late evening when the perch are more prone to biting the lures. And I'll be leaving this Baitcaster at home and bringing my spinning reel because I can't deal with this thing anymore. I don't think I'll be using it unless I get some better line for it. But for now, I'm going to go home for a couple of hours and I'll be back down here quite late in the evening. So I'll see you then. So I went back home and I ended up coming back the next morning instead. Right, I know I said I'd be back down yesterday evening, but I left it a day and it's now the next morning. It's currently 7:30 AM. Another tropical day here in England. It's currently 20 degrees already and it's 7:30 AM. And this is the coolest it's going to be all day long as well. So I thought I'd get down here now. I've got down here and it's the exact same as yesterday. All of the fish are on the surface. In fact, there's a school of roach right in front of me. I don't know if you can see. They're everywhere, all these fish are. And today I've not bought my Baitcaster, thank God. I've bought my spinning reel. So I should definitely catch a fish today. I've got the same paddle tail lure on and I've got a spare in my pocket. So let's get down to the place I was at yesterday and fingers crossed getting some out in the next few hours. I'm pretty much at the place now. It's just literally right ahead of me. It's very humid out right now, but it's not so hot that the fish are going to be not biting the baits. There's a little overhanging tree just there, that one that I'm pointing at. And then I just looked underneath it. There's obviously a tyre underneath it, and I thought it was an alligator. And then I realised I'm in England, so there's no way an alligator can be under there. But whilst I was looking at it, about 10 gudgeon just plopped out the top of the water at once. It was really funny. But this is where I made my first cast out yesterday. I'm going to skip this bit today because if you remember correctly, I got snagged in there and lost my first lure. Second lure of the day actually, that was. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the next little bit just past these nettle bushes here and I'll start casting out there, and there's a very good chance I'll get a perch today because it's early morning and perch are more prone to biting early morning and late evening. Here we go then. Let's hope this is a bit better than the Baitcaster rod. I'm certain it will be. Oh, as I speak, there's a perch right ahead of me. I've just seen him spin in the water, and you know when they're shine, I've just seen that. So I'll chuck that right where that was, let it sink a moment, tighten the line, and I'll just reel it in at this pace every single cast now because these paddle tail lures come in like bombs. They're really fast. The margins as well is something I've got to work on. There's a perch right by my lure right now actually. He's not biting it though, he's just looking at it. But yeah, in the margins is where I've got to be because the perch are always there. Oh, I think I've hooked into something. No, it's a snag. Oh man, that convinced me I'd had something then. What's this coming up? It's a big log by the looks of things. Oh my God, that's big. Look at this catch, guys. I don't know if you can see it in the water. That's huge. I don't know how I'm unsnagging this one. I don't know if you can see the tip of it coming out. I've caught a branch. A big thick branch. How am I unsnagging this without getting in? Jeez. That's all sorted now. I just had to crouch down and get my forceps on it and just pull it loose real quick, and the lure's still on, so it's perfect. I'm gonna move on down to the wider part where I was at yesterday. I had a couple of bites there yesterday, but I didn't land anything, so maybe today I'll get some bites and actually land it. I've got to skip all of this bit because I'm not going to try and snag my lure again and get it lost, because way too snaggy to fish there, and there's not a proper space for me to stand really. This bit looks all right to fish, so I might just start right about here. I'll cast out under that overhanging tree there and give it a shot. Here we go then. Just get it out there. We'll slowly start to reel it in, and I'll have about 5 casts here maybe, and then get down to the wider bit. This is cast 1, and no fish have come from it yet. Well, I did feel something that just felt like a bite, but it must have been a snag. I'm past all of that now, so I'm going to start casting now here. And as you can see, it starts going wider there and then really wide over there. So this is like the wide bit I'm on about. This bit here has changed quite a lot in the last year for some reason. There must have been a bit of a landslide or something, and the entire thing's just changed. Before it used to be like a little hump there with mud coming out here, but no, obviously it's gone, disappeared. But I used to get quite a lot of perch out of that little hole, so that was a disappointment when I saw it gone. Just walking down to this bit here where the crack in the ground is. This is where I gave up yesterday pretty much and went back in. But today I'm not going to give up. I've got at least another 40 minutes I'd say I'm going to spend down here. I only have 40 minutes because I'm going out somewhere afterwards. So that's hence why I've come early as well. But yeah, let's get these perch out. I want to catch at least one. I've got a bit of a question. At home I've got this lure box full to the brim of lures. I've got tons of them. But I don't really know what ones are best to catch perch. I know paddle tails and curly tails do well. And any lure really that's big enough to fit in a perch's mouth, they'll smash. But I want to know from some of you guys which lures are the best. And don't say spinners, because I've got loads of spinners, and the amount of times I've used spinners and blanked every time, it's ridiculous. I can currently see about 3 perch over the other side. I say this in my other videos, but if you're new here, basically at this bit, there's a bit over there that's like a ledge, and it drops down to about 4 foot deep there, and then it comes back up gradually. But there, it's only about 1 foot deep, and there's about 3 perch on it. So I'm going to cast over there, and hopefully my lure will attract at least one of them. They're still there. I didn't spook them with the cast, so that's perfect. I've just dropped down into the deeper part. I'll just watch the lure sink. I'm just going to reel it in and hope for the best now. Hopefully a perch sees it on its way through and I'll get one. Damn, sadly there wasn't. Sadly my session's near enough at the end now. I think I'm going to go for about 5 more little tosses out with the lure just around here. But if nothing comes from it, I'm just going to go in, because I've been here about an hour now almost, and I've not really had any luck again. Let's get at it with the final cast out then. We'll go there. That was decent actually. It went right by the little drop-off point, so I've let that sink to the very bottom. I can feel it's on the bottom, to be fair. I can feel a few little twigs and stuff snagging at it. Come on, perch, just bite. My last cast. Usually there's one in this margin. I don't know if it's the same one every time. I really doubt it is, to be honest, but there's usually some perch in this bit of margin here, so I'll just dangle it around here and jerk it a little bit. Fingers crossed I'll get one. Well, nothing came from the little twitches I was doing in the margin, so I've packed the rod up now and I'm going to go home. I'd say overall, including yesterday, I've been fishing this bit for about 4 hours. Yesterday I was here for about 3, and today I've been here for an hour and a bit. Yeah, that amounts to just over 4 hours of fishing in this spot in the last 2 days, and nothing's coming from it. Maybe it's about time I start exploring the rest of the canal. Overall, it was a decent, enjoyable session. Apart from yesterday, that baitcaster was getting on my nerves, but today was alright. But with that all said, that's all I've got for you guys today. I'm sorry I blanked. I'm disappointed too. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss another upload in the future. Become a member of the channel to support me making these videos, and check out some other videos on screen here. But that's about all I've got for you guys today, so peace for now.